Hey everybody, welcome to campaign 4, session 29, called the Botched Barter. We just got done with Trock and this sad killing of his brothers that we lied about. There's nothing truly we could do. Kind of like left that whole situation worse than we found it. Kind of, the Trock, who was an ogre, and his ogre brothers were bad people, and his brothers were gonna kill a ton of people, but we still felt bad about it. At least I did. But completing at least one quest uh, set by the local tavern keep of the last house, we went back because Trock was moving on by in a sad fashion and was not blocking the road anymore, and we got paid our 250 gold and room and board, which we accept. Being in a unknown place and just generally being cautious, we took watches throughout the night, and were concerned about the zombie horde that was going this way that we just kind of like bypassed earlier. The host of the tavern, Mr. Leadspine, he took care of it with a line of salt that turned to a square and it was enchanted with some mysterious magic. We didn't really know what that was. Desperado and then Peter, who were spying on this, saw that zombies were in the square and were laying dormant and not moving or sitting still. And they sat there until two Bugaisha, who work for the master, a necromancer, show up and give the owner of the tavern keep a coin pouch. Then they just leave, and in the interim, Desperado and Peter tell Kevin what they saw, and then Kevin gives Edward and Durian the lowdown on what's going on. During the initial spying, Peter has to detect thoughts to see what they were saying because they were too far, and learned that the Bugaisha were purchasing the zombies to add to the army of the master, and they were curious about who Mr. Leadspine's clientele was, who was staying at the tavern, but he wouldn't tell them that information. Using this info, Desperado talks with the tavern keep owner and tells him about what he witnessed, and is basically told that either he gets paid and left alone, or he refuses some bad people and then is punished uh, from being insolent. After they meet up with Durian and Desperado talk about maybe trying to keep the tavern keep away and out of their plans to try and get rid of these zombies, like an ambush further down the road, somewhere like that. Everyone agrees to the plan, and they get into position and mostly make their self checks, and revealed that the two Bagisha that were there originally came back with Hideo, our nemesis at this point. I mean, this guy's following us everywhere, and he's accompanied by a platform that he's on. It's being carried by a bunch of undead ogres, two of them, and four Yeth dogs are trailing behind, and there's a rock demon flying around, and then that's also PJ, just trailing behind his apprentice. Edward noticed the rock and was scared, and then he was noticed by Hideo, and that's where combat started. So we're separated at this point. Durian and Desperado and Kevin were, up in a corner, and Edward and Peter were down in another corner by themselves. And Edward was in a tree when he was hiding, and Peter was hidden in a bush. Hideo got one cloud kill off on the Durian, Desperado, and Kevin, who were like the three martial classes up in the corner, and that's all he got to do because Peter, yet again, with the clutch move of the Hunger Hadar, just locked down Hideo in just a big inky void, and most importantly, broke his line of sight and kept him from casting any spells from at that point on, which I'm sure would have made this fight a lot worse. The two Bugaisha that were with him um, just full on killed the tavern keep for betraying us or betraying him, or so he perceived, and then moved on towards Kevin to go square off with him. Edward, who was in a tree, was pretty much fighting off a rock demon the whole time, and Yeth hounds were down below yipping at his heels like he was a cat in a tree. He's a werewolf in a tree, but it applies the same way. During Desperado were fighting the Shadow Dancer Bugaisha guy before the Yeth dog split into two groups. Two of them head towards the paladin and the barbarian up in the corner, and the other two were still yipping at the heels of Edward, trying to get to him. Kevin went down because he was surrounded, and then the two companions with him, Durian and Desperado, just fully killed out the Shadow Dancer. Then PJ started getting involved. Before he was just, sitting by and watching, but he started hitting Edward with magic missiles, which don't do that much damage, but do are guaranteed to hit, and it was getting bad. Edward, pissed off at this, gave the rock in the sky a people's elbow because he has a fancy little cape that lets him fly in dim light. And he got all the way up, but got the elbow out and hit him and brought him down to the ground right next to the two Yeth hounds that are there. Maybe not the best idea in hindsight, but it was pretty fun in the moment. The two zombie ogres finally step into action after Peter uh, uses his cape, and Peter calls upon his aid from his brethren with his ring of short notice, calling in some, not even to help with the fight, just to absorb some attacks, because the three halfling scouts that show up that were supposed to shoot and do damage just get like flattened by the two zombie ogres just like almost immediately. Of course, they poof into dust and go away back to the Feywild, but they were just there as this flack, in all honesty. Hey, but it did the job. They kept him away from Peter. PJ gets hit by an arrow by one of the scouts, and Edward has a tussle with a rock as he's surrounded by the Yeth hounds. He goes swinging down, and Mr. Leadspine's wife destroys the salt line, breaking the enchantment, keeping the zombies in. And then those guys go out in the battlefield. They start swarming everybody. They swarm us. They swarm the Yeth hounds. They swarm the rock demon, and the Edward by the tree. Mostly they attack our enemies, which, hey, great for us. We'll take whatever help we can get. And while that was happening, she went to go get her husband's dead body. We're too powerful, quite frankly, for zombies to take us down or even hit us at this point. So while we're dodging all these attacks and trying to hit us, we're watching them just tear apart, a Yeth hound. We both heal a little bit. We heal Kevin up a little bit with some potions as the zombies are just going for it. And pretty much most of the Yeth hounds go down. Some of them book it afterwards. Hideo uses a nasty fireball after finally getting free of the Hunger of Hadar and just gets on out of there and leaves PJ alone just to scamper off in the woods just by himself. Leaves his apprentice to die. Classic evil sorcerer stuff. All the zombies were dispatched. The zombie ogres booked it as well. Anything that we didn't kill ran. And we were left with a priorly enchanted platform that he was on, a chest with some good gold, and some weary and damaged bodies. That's where we left off session 29. I'll see you next time.